So today's video is going to talk about rocky terrain and grass cutting and the problems that it brings for the different styles of mowers, and what's the best way to cut a ground that has rocks. And my property, I've got about 8 acres cleared of rocks. There's still a few that are too big to pull out, but there's also about 20 acres of grass that has a lot of rocks that I haven't got to yet, and I probably won't. So over the 3 years of being on this property, I've tried different methods of cutting that grass. Weed whacker is probably the best, but at that size, it just is a daunting task. So I've got 2 bush hogs, one for my skid steer, one for my tractor. They work, but you have to be very careful what you're driving on, and sometimes you don't see them. The zero turn mower, I've got a finishing mower, all that can suffer heavy damage if you're not really alert. And then once the grass gets like 2 feet tall, you can't see the rocks. So I purchased a sickle mower a couple years ago, and I've been using that. The things I like about the sickle mower is that it will skate over top of the rocks because of the way the teeth are formed. I'll show you that in a minute. And but what I don't like about a sickle mower is it just cuts the grass and it lays it down. It's not ideal, but it does work. And I'll show you some areas that I cut last week and what it looks like today. So the grass obviously gets cut, it dies off, and it's you know, it's not a super manicured lawn look to it, but it does okay. I was thinking of buying a flail mower, but they are teeth that spin on a drum, and when they whack a rock, they suffer damage. So a flail mower, even though in theory it might be less damage than a rotary, like a regular type of mower, it's still getting damage. So basically I'll do a couple of tests with the sickle mower and show you why it works well with rocks and such. Anyways, here we go. So here is the sickle mower mounted to my Coyote NX 4510. It is an international harvester. I believe it's like 1970s vintage. I picked it up at a used tractor repair shop. Had a couple of them in stock. I believe it was $1,000, so pretty reasonable for what you get. I can't imagine if they're made today they would be that cheap. But yeah, you can see the international harvester stamp right there. And yeah, I keep it greased up, lubed. It works pretty good. It has a mechanism that if you hit something like a tree, it bends back out of the way, but you have to be paying attention because I've pulled the drive shaft apart a few times and broke a couple of universal joints. So that's one tricky thing. You have to be watching if it's getting pulled back before it gets straight back and the drive shaft pops out. But anyways, we'll do a little test cutting of it, and I got a camera mounted on the back of the tractor. You can watch it work. And anyways, let's try to find some rocks and see what it does. So the first 6 feet of what's here was done with a regular mower, and then beyond that, the next 20 feet was done with the sickle mower. So this was done last week. So you can see it looks decent. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not dealing with tall grass, but you can see the rocks that are here. I'll come over to like a certain. There's a rock there that would just skate over top. This one would skate over top too. Same with this one here. You know, there's maybe one over here that would be a real deadly one for a regular mower, like that there. So yeah, these is just areas I haven't gotten to, and how it skips over them is that the teeth that do the cutting are on top of these angled. So the teeth are here that cut, and then these are, so the rocks hit that and then go underneath, so they're not actually hitting the cutting surface. So yeah, we'll get the cameras going here and I'll show you some cutting. So there you go. That was a pretty good demonstration, because you saw me go over rocks. You saw me hit a rock and it bent the mower backwards, but that's why you have to be paying attention, because you don't want it to come straight back. My drive shaft is a bit too short and it pops out. So if you had a drive shaft that was the appropriate, this was built for another tractor, so for me it was a bit too short. Then you could just go all the way back and then carry on, and then I just reverse it there to bring the mower back into the 90-degree position. But basically that's what we've done here. Done about 3 rows real quick. So you're getting your grass mowed, but like I said, it doesn't look as good as like this here with a regular mower, but you are getting the grass down. And we have what we call deer flies up here. They're flies with black specks on their wings, and they bite, and they love to hide in the grass, and they don't like the full sun. So we get more we can get rid of it, less these flies will have. And anyways, that's it for today.